What's up, guys? Yusuf back. How is everyone doing? It is officially summer vacation. I hope you guys are out of school by now, which I am. Today I have a new video. And as you can see, it's nothing Sonic related or anything, as I kind of do want to take a break from uploading Sonic videos, as I want to do other things. Like, I want to try something new things for my channel. Like, for example, I want to do more ranking videos. I want to do, let's say, I want to do tier lists. As you can see, for this video, I have a tier list video. Not just any tier list. This is a tier list of the Disney post Renaissance. If you don't know what the Disney post Renaissance is, it's the era that came after the Disney Renaissance in the 90s, where in the 2000s it was a rough year for Disney while competing with Pixar and DreamWorks while they were releasing 3D animated movies. Disney was still making 2D animated movies. As some of these movies from this era, they didn't turn out that great. Even though some are favorite to a lot of people now, but they didn't really perform really well at the box office. Yeah, I was actually born during during the post Renaissance, and I do have some fond memories of at least pretty much the last three movies that came out in this era. Yeah, I do have certain nostalgia for those movies. As the movies that came out in the post Renaissance is Fantasia 2000, Dinosaur, The Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis the Lost Empire, Lilo and Stitch, Treasure Planet, Brother Bear, Home on the Range, Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, and Bolt. Now that is 11 movies. And in the tier list side, there's the top one, this is the favorite. The second one is the good. The third one is the meh. Fourth is mediocre. And the last one is trash. And I will admit, some of these movies, there are some movies that are pretty trash, but there are some really good ones that are my favorite in the favorite. I can't speak right now. There are some that are my favorite Disney movies of all time. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous, but anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first to kick things off is Fantasia 2000. Now, Fantasia 2000, it's a sequel to a movie called Fantasia that came out in the 1940s, I believe. And Fantasia 2000, this was actually a pretty good movie. Instead of it more of a movie, it feels more of a Broadway musical or something. But even though there are some parts in the movie that are not that great, like they have celebrity portions that have there's Steve Martin and all of them. They were not that great. Well, except for James Earl Jones, he was great. But everything else in the movie was pretty good. So I put Fantasia 2000 on the good tier list. It was great. Next up is Dinosaur. Whew. Oh boy. Dinosaur. This movie's trash, guys. Like, there's literally nothing good about Dinosaur at all. In fact, Dinosaur is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, there's literally nothing good in this movie at all. It's a mix of live action and CGI. Like, even though there's nothing good in this movie, the first few minutes of it is actually really good. Plus, the music fits it pretty well. But for the rest of the entire movie, it's not good at all. That's why Dinosaur is on the trash tier list. It's not good. Next up, The Emperor's New Groove. Oh yeah, The Emperor's New Groove. This movie is actually so good, you guys. Like, even though this movie is arguably the funniest Disney movie ever. Like, I just love how absolutely ridiculous this movie is. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Even though this movie had a super rough production, it was originally going to be a musical called The Kingdom of the Sun, but because Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame had bombed at the box office, Disney didn't think it was a great idea to make the Kingdom of the Sun a musical, and they eventually decided to turn it into a buddy comedy. And I just love the cast of this movie. It has David Spade as Cusco, John Goodman as Pacha, Eartha Kitt as Yzma and Patrick Warburton as Krunk. Krunk is definitely one of the funniest characters in this movie. He is hilarious, same as Yzma, and plus the animation is actually pretty good. But overall, Emperor's New Groove is actually really funny. So I'm putting this on the favorite tier list. You guys should check this one out. It is funny. Next up is Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Atlantis: The Lost Empire. This movie is actually pretty good. I feel like it's pretty underrated. Like the animation is pretty nice, and the casting choices is pretty decent. Like it has Michael J. Fox as Milo. Pretty sure everyone knows who Michael J. Fox is. He was in Back to the Future. I mostly know Michael J. Fox for being the voice of Stuart Little. That's how I got to know him. It has Jim Varney as the villain of the movie. I can't remember his name because it's been a while since I watched Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Which I know Jim Varney, he was the original voice actor for Slinky Dog in the first two Toy Stories before he passed away. And it also has Cree Summers as Princess Kidda. Ooh, and I cannot speak right now. The heck. But Cree Summer, I mostly know her. She's the voice of Susie Carmichael in Rugrats. But Atlantis: The Lost Empire, it's a pretty good movie, pretty underrated. I wish more people talk about it. And I'll probably rewatch this movie again sometime. But Atlantis: The Lost Empire, it's going on the good tier list. You should check this one out. Next up is Lilo and Stitch. Guys, you all should know that Lilo and Stitch, this is my number one favorite Disney movie ever. Like, it's just so good. Like, the animation is really nice and watercolor art direction. The music is great. The cast is really good. The characters are so likable. Like, I just love this movie so much, you guys. I've been watching Lilo and Stitch for over a year at this point. Like last year during the summer, I saw Lilo and Stitch on Disney Plus. I wanted to check it out, and I loved it so much that I watched it twice. The night I first saw it, it was so good, you guys. Like, both Lilo and Stitch, they're my two favorite Disney characters of all time. I also like Lilo's older sister Nani, because I can relate to her so much, as she has to be Lilo's guardian. And they both have to adjust the fact that Nani has to be Lilo's parent now because both their parents had passed away. Like I can relate to Nani so much, you guys. But I am so nervous, you guys. I do apologize if I'm stuttering a lot in this video, but I'm just so nervous. But anyway, Lilo and Stitch, definitely one of my favorite Disney movie of all time. In my opinion, I'd say it's the best Disney movie. Like, even better than all the other good ones, like The Lion King and Frozen. And guys, do not get mad at me for saying this, but I think Frozen is super overrated. Like, honestly, like it kind of is. Like Frozen, it was good the first time I've seen it, and after that, I've seen it hundreds of times, and I quickly got annoyed of it. Like, and then when Frozen 2 was announced, I honestly didn't care for it, even though I think it's better than the first one. But I honestly just didn't care for Frozen 2 at all. But anyway, I'm talking about Frozen, but. Yeah, that's why Lilo and Stitch is my favorite Disney movie. Next up is Treasure Planet. Now, Treasure Planet, honestly, I do not know what to say about this movie at all. I'll just say, I'll just put it on the meh tier list. It was an okay Disney movie, honestly. I don't know what to say about it. It was just okay. Next up, Brother Bear. Oh boy. Brother Bear. I think this movie is pretty mediocre. Like it's nothing but it's a trash baby movie with weird jokes and annoying characters. But the only positive I will give to this movie is the main character, Kenai, is voiced by Joaquin Phoenix, who we all know is the Joker. Like, the Joker is actually really good, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you ever watched the Joker. before. Like the Joker is actually a good movie. But Brother Bear, I think it's pretty mediocre. Next up, Home on the Range. Guys, Home on the Range is hot garbage. This is definitely the number one worst Disney movie ever made. Like, there's nothing good about Home on the Range at all. There's nothing good. It's just so weird and so it's weird and so stupid, honestly. Like who came up with the idea of making this movie? Like, why does this movie even exist? Like, this movie should not exist at all. It's just so terrible, you guys. You have no idea. Please do not watch this movie. It's bad. But anyway, let's move on. Next up, Chicken Little. Now, guys, hear me out on this one. Yes, I am aware everyone says that Chicken Little is in fact the worst Disney movie ever made. But I am one of the few people who actually grew up watching Chicken Little as a kid. And I loved it back then, but now as a 17-year-old, I can personally say that I think Chicken Little, I don't think it's the best Disney movie ever made, and I don't think it's terrible. But I'm just gonna say, I'll just say it's on the meh tier list. Yeah, I'm just gonna place Chicken Little on that. Or wait, no, I'm not gonna put it on the meh tier list. I'll just say that Chicken Little is pretty mediocre. I'm putting it behind Brother Bear. Yeah, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about Chicken Little, guys. I don't think it's terrible, and I don't think it's the best. I'll just say it's pretty mediocre. All right. Next up is Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons. It's actually a really good movie, you guys. I also grew up with this movie as a kid, and I love it, and I still rewatch it to this day. Like, I just like the character. Sure, there are some flaws with it, like the Robinson family being a little all over the place and stuff, but every time it falls, it picks itself back up again. Meet the Robinsons, it's a really good movie. Please watch it. Please check this movie out. It's actually good. Next up, the last movie on our list is Bolt. Bolt, this is another Disney movie I grew up watching as a kid. Like, it's actually good. You have John Travolta as the main character, and also Miley Cyrus as his owner, Penny. But even though this movie kind of does remind me of Toy Story, sort of, where Bolt believes he's a super dog, kind of like how Buzz Lightyear believed that he's a space ranger, even though he's actually a toy. Well, Bolt eventually learns that he's actually a regular dog and not a super dog. Sure, it's kind of it's like copying, almost a copy of Toy Story, but I don't really think it's that bad. But yeah, Bolt, it's actually also a really good movie. I do highly recommend it. And yeah, that wraps it up for this is my tier list. So on the favorites, I have Lilo and Stitch, The Emperor's New Groove, Meet the Robinsons, and Bolt. On the good tier list, I have Atlantis: The Lost Empire, Fantasia 2000. The meh tier list, I have Treasure Planet. The mediocre tier list, I have Brother Bear and Chicken Little. And last but not least, the trash tier list, we have Home on the Range and Dinosaur. Do not watch these movies, guys. Like, Dinosaur is trash and Home on the Range is trash. For the rest of them, you can watch these movies, but most importantly, watch Lilo and Stitch over and over again, guys. It's that good. But anyway, that's my tier list. So hope you guys like this video. If you want me to do more of these, please let me know in the comments down below on what tier list you want to see next. And I have other stuff planned for the channel this summer, so be sure to keep an eye out on that pretty soon. So anyway, that about does it, you guys, and I will see you all in the next video.